Or I could be Spider-Man.
Okay, make that pitch right now to Tom Holland. You're out, you're in.
Tom Holland did a great job, though. so I don't know. Maybe they do need to make a new one for me.
There's an actor or actress, or I don't even know how this person identifies at this moment in time, that could come in and save the MCU. And that person is Last of Us star Bella Ramsey.
In The Last of Us Part 2, who the majority of the fans were like, that's not Ellie.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was.
Bella Ramsey says that they could be Spider-Man.
I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, Christian, you tell me.
Marvel is crumbling. After years of billion-dollar triumphs, the empire that once ruled Hollywood now finds itself drowning in flops, fan backlash, and headlines that sound more like parodies than reality. The box office bombs, the soulless streaming spin-offs, the endless fatigue, everyone's whispering the same question. Is the Marvel Cinematic Universe finished? And just when you think the story couldn't get stranger, a headline explodes across the internet. A headline so wild, so unbelievable, that it almost feels like satire. Forget Robert Downey Jr., forget Chris Evans, forget the so-called saviors of the franchise. Marvel's latest hope, according to one viral moment, is none other than The Last of Us star Bella Ramsey. That's right, Bella Ramsey stepping up to sling webs as Spider-Man. The idea spread like wildfire. Memes flooded timelines, comment sections went nuclear, and fans instantly split down the middle.
Well, I understand she wants to play Spider-Man. She's not quite Spider-Man.
Some laughed, some raged, and others whispered that maybe, just maybe, this kind of chaos is exactly what Marvel needs. Because beneath the jokes lies a bigger question. Is Marvel so desperate that even the wildest idea could become their saving play? The truth is, Marvel isn't just struggling, it's collapsing under its own weight. A decade ago, the MCU was unstoppable. Every release was an event, every hero became a cultural icon, and fans lined up for hours just to catch a midnight showing. But today, the magic is gone.
There's an actor or actress, or I don't even know how this person identifies at this moment in time, that could come in and save the MCU. And that person is Last of Us star Bella Ramsey.
The once invincible brand has been hit with flop after flop. Eternals tanked, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania underperformed, the Marvels flatlined at the box office. Streaming shows like She-Hulk and Secret Invasion promised expansion, but only fueled exhaustion. Fans aren't just tired. They're questioning whether Marvel even knows what it's doing anymore. Behind the scenes, executives scramble for a fix. Rumors swirl about Avengers. Doomsday, a film meant to bring back nearly every hero in a desperate bid to restore hype. Imagine paying out millions just to drag old actors back into the spotlight, a strategy that reeks of panic more than confidence. And that's why Bella Ramsey's name in this conversation hits so hard. Because if Marvel's solution is just reviving ghosts of the past, or throwing out chaotic, headline-grabbing casting choices, maybe the ship really is sinking. But the wildest part, it wasn't just Marvel insiders making noise, it was Bella herself. The chaos began on a red carpet. Cameras flashing, microphones in faces, reporters tossing out questions designed to spark headlines. And then, in the middle of it all, Bella Ramsey delivered the line that would send the internet spiraling. Or I could be Spider-Man. Simple. Offhand.
But this is the headline that went around yesterday that a lot of people are having fun with. Bella Ramsey says they could be the next Spider-Man. They also say Andrew Garfield's version is incredible and that they loved it.
Maybe even a joke. But the second the words left Bella's mouth, they transformed into wildfire. Blogs grabbed it, slapped it into clickbait headlines, and pushed it into trending status. Suddenly, Bella wasn't just saying something funny on the carpet, she was pitching herself as Marvel's next Spider-Man. The moment felt surreal. Tom Holland has been Marvel's web-slinger for nearly a decade, and yet here was Bella Ramsey, star of The Last of Us, casually tossing their name into the ring. The internet didn't know how to react. Was Bella serious? Was it sarcasm? Was this the first test balloon from Marvel itself? But intent didn't matter. In today's media world, a single sentence is all it takes to create a firestorm.
Have you changed up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
And by the end of that night, Bella Ramsey wasn't just an Emmy-nominated actor, they were the internet's most unlikely new Spider-Man candidate. But of course, the conversation didn't stop at casting. Being Hollywood, the moment instantly became about identity politics. Bella Ramsey publicly goes by both she, her, and them pronouns. Something that many fans support, but also something critics were eager to pounce on. The narrative shifted almost overnight. Articles and hot takes framed Bella's joke as Marvel pushing progressive stunt casting. Twitter exploded with debates about gender, identity, and what Spider-Man should be. Supporters saw it as representation. Critics saw it as Hollywood chasing headlines instead of storytelling. The most telling moment? When Hollywood Handle, one of the sites that first amplified Bella's quote, turned off their comments after being ratioed. They couldn't handle the firestorm they helped ignite. And yet, that silence only made the backlash louder. Suddenly, Bella wasn't just trending for a joke. They were at the center of a cultural battle about Marvel's future, and whether the studio's next moves would be about creativity or controversy. And if you think that was messy, wait until you hear how little Bella actually knew about Marvel in the first place. Here's the kicker. Bella Ramsey, the internet's newest Spider-Man candidate, had barely even watched Marvel films. That's right. Just a few months before this headline, Bella revealed that the very first Marvel movie they had ever seen was The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Not Iron Man, not Avengers, not even Tom Holland's Spider-Man Homecoming. No, Bella started with Garfield's Spidey. And only because Pedro Pascal, their Last of Us co-star, was rumored to be joining the Marvel family. Bella admitted the Garfield movie was incredible and gushed about his version of the character. But when fans heard this, the backlash sharpened. The idea that someone who just dipped their toes into Marvel yesterday could suddenly position themselves as the franchise's savior, for many, it was laughable. Yet ironically, this lack of history made the story bigger. Bella wasn't burdened by Marvel fatigue. They were fresh, unshaped by the MCU's endless baggage. Some fans even argued that this outsider perspective might actually be exactly what the franchise needs. But, of course, the internet wasn't exactly gentle about the whole thing. It didn't take long for the internet to detonate. Within hours, memes were everywhere. Twitter timelines filled with edits of Bella in Spider-Man's suit, swinging through New York with captions like, "Potato Spider-Man saves the MCU." The nickname stuck almost instantly. Potato Spider-Man. Hollywood Handle shut down their comment section after a single post got ratioed into oblivion. Fans mocked them for running from the chaos. Meanwhile, meme accounts had a field day. One viral poster showed Bella's face slapped onto Spider-Man in an Avengers Doomsday mock-up. Another tweet declared, "Move over, Tom Holland, it's Bella's turn to sling webs." But the memes weren't just jokes. They became part of the story itself. Supporters used them to defend Bella, saying humor proved the casting could work in a weird way. Critics used them to pile on, saying Marvel had become a laughingstock. What started as a one-liner on a red carpet was now a global meme war, with Bella Ramsey's name at the center. And if you think the internet's reaction was wild, the industry's response was even more revealing. Because behind the laughter, Hollywood insiders started whispering, was this joke really so impossible after all? While fans argued online, Hollywood insiders quietly took notice. Red carpet journalist Mark Meltsin, the man who asked Bella the Spider-Man question, has a reputation for baiting stars into giving offhand comments that turn into viral headlines. Many in the industry dismissed it as just another Malkin moment. But not everyone was laughing. Some Marvel insiders whispered that the studio has actually toyed with the idea of a bold, unexpected casting choice to reignite hype. If fans are already this divided over a single red carpet joke, imagine the publicity storm if Marvel ever made it real. Free marketing, endless debates, non-stop headlines. Chaos, yes, but also attention. And Marvel, right now, is starving for attention. Other voices were less optimistic. Casting Bella Ramsey as Spider-Man, they argued, would alienate Marvel's core audience even further. The fans already distrust the studio, and a move this radical might send them running for good. Still, the whispers didn't die down. If Marvel is desperate, could chaos actually be their last card to play? The internet split into two camps. On one side were the fans who couldn't stop laughing. They flooded timelines with memes joking that Bella's Spider-Man would finally give Marvel the unpredictability it lost years ago. For them, the absurdity was the point. And maybe the MCU needed something absurd. On the other side were the die-hard traditionalists. To them, Spider-Man wasn't just a costume or a role. He was a cultural symbol, an identity that had always been rooted in a very specific archetype. Seeing Bella Ramsey step into that role felt like Hollywood erasing tradition for the sake of shock value. Petitions popped up demanding Marvel respect the legacy and keep Spider-Man exactly as he's always been. The arguments got heated fast. Supporters called critics narrow-minded. Critics accused Marvel of betraying its fanbase. And in the middle of the firestorm was Bella, an actor who probably didn't expect a throwaway joke to ignite a cultural war. But as divided as fans were, there was one thing both sides agreed on. Marvel's future had never looked more uncertain. Behind the headlines, Marvel's desperation was becoming obvious. The studio had already tried everything: star-studded ensemble films, new franchises, surprise cameos, even resurrecting old characters. None of it worked. Each project felt bigger, louder, and emptier than the last. Bella Ramsey's rise in Hollywood, fueled by The Last of Us, made them one of the industry's hottest young stars. Attaching Bella to Marvel, even as a joke, revealed something deeper. Disney was willing to flirt with controversy if it meant keeping Marvel relevant. This wasn't the first time. Marvel has a history of shock casting to keep its brand alive. And sometimes, it works. Remember when Robert Downey Jr. was considered a gamble for Iron Man? Or when casting a relatively unknown Chris Hemsworth seemed risky? Both became legends. The difference now is that Marvel isn't innovating from strength. It's grasping at straws from weakness. And that's why the Bella Spider-Man meme didn't die. It exposed Marvel's biggest problem. The studio doesn't know whether to stick with safe bets or embrace chaos. Either way, the fans are losing patience. Here's the million-dollar question. Could Bella Ramsey really play Spider-Man? On paper, it sounds impossible. Spider-Man has always been witty, upbeat, and a little goofy. Bella's breakout roles, intense, dramatic, emotionally raw, are the opposite of Peter Parker's charm. But dig deeper, and the idea doesn't look as ridiculous as it first seems. Bella has proven an ability to carry a franchise. They bring intensity and depth that could reinvent the character in a darker, grittier way. Imagine a Spider-Man who isn't cracking jokes every 5 seconds, but instead wrestling with trauma, fear, and survival. A version that mirrors today's MCU struggles. Of course, the risks are huge. Spider-Man is Marvel's crown jewel. A single misstep could shatter what little fan goodwill remains. But then again, Marvel's crown jewel is already cracked. Maybe reinvention is the only option left. And if Bella Ramsey isn't the answer, the real question becomes, who is? By now, the memes had taken on a life of their own. Fan art flooded Twitter. TikTok edits placed Bella into iconic Spider-Man scenes. One viral poster reimagined Avengers, Doomsday with Bella front and center, swinging across the skyline. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about whether Bella could play Spider-Man, it was about what the internet wanted Marvel to be. The memes symbolized both frustration and hope, and that Marvel had lost its magic. Hope that maybe shaking the table this hard could bring it back. Marvel didn't comment, of course, but silence from the studio didn't matter. The internet had already turned the joke into a phenomenon, and when memes start driving the narrative more than the movies themselves, you know the franchise has lost control of its own story. What started as a throwaway line on a red carpet became a mirror reflecting everything wrong with Marvel today. Bella Ramsey saying, "Or I could be Spider-Man," wasn't just a joke. It was a spark, one that exposed Marvel's desperation, fan division, and the franchise's shaky future. The MCU is no longer untouchable. Its choices aren't just creative decisions, they're cultural battles. And the fact that Bella Ramsey, of all people, could accidentally become a symbol of that collapse says everything about where Marvel stands in 2025. So, could Bella Ramsey save the MCU as Spider-Man? Maybe, not. But one thing's for sure, Marvel's problem isn't Bella. Marvel's problem is Marvel. And unless the studio finds a way to regain trust, the next headline might not be about who's playing Spider-Man. It might be about the death of the MCU itself.